Hello everyone.
I am Shakni Gupta, Assistant Professor, Swami Vivekananda Institute of Modern Science, Kolkata. Today I will be teaching you how to solve a problem in final accounts from a beginner's point of view. The objective of this presentation is to make you understand the approach which you should take to solve a problem in final accounts, and that too, as I have said in the beginning, from a beginner's point of view. So keeping this in mind, only closing stock has been considered as the adjustment in the illustration which follows. Now the approach to problem solving. From the given trial balance, we will identify the items that are required to be posted in the respective trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. The opening stock, all direct and factory expenses, direct incomes and closing stock shall be posted in the trading account. From the same trial balance, we will further identify the indirect and maintenance expenses, indirect incomes, and shall post them in the profit and loss account. Finally, we will be left with the assets, liabilities, capital and drawings, which shall be posted in the balance sheet. How closing stock is treated? Closing stock will appear as an adjustment in our final accounts problem, which will be given with the trial balance. Closing stock is an adjustment entry, and first posting of it shall be done on the credit side of the trading account, and the second posting shall be done on the asset side of the balance sheet, as it is an asset. Now we have our illustration. From the following trial balance of X and Sons, prepare a trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 2017 and a balance sheet as on that date. On the left hand side, we have the debit balances, which starts with stock on the 1st of April 2016, 20,000 rupees, purchases rupees 75,000, sales returns 8,000, freight and carriage rupees 7,500, wages rupees 36,500, salaries rupees 12,000, repairs rupees 1,200, trade expenses rupees 4,000, rent and taxes rupees 24,000, cash in hand rupees 5,700, bills receivable rupees 4,000, debtors rupees 55,000, plant and machinery rupees 1,60,000, drawings rupees 16,600, bank deposit rupees 20,000. On the right hand side, that is the credit side, we have sundry creditors rupees 15,000, purchase returns rupees 3,000, sales rupees 2,50,000, commission rupees 3,300, capital rupees 1,70,000, interest on bank deposit rupees 2,000, bills payable rupees 6,200. Both sides have a total of 4,49,500. Finally, at the bottom, we find the closing stock on 31st March 2017 was valued at rupees 25,000. Our approach here will be to identify the assets, liabilities, capital and drawing will be also there, and finally direct, indirect expenses as well as income. Our first job is to identify the various items of the given trial balance in terms of direct expenses or incomes, indirect expenses and income, assets and liabilities, capital and drawings. After the successful identification, we shall proceed to post them in the trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet. Now we will identify the direct and factory expenses as well as direct income from our trial balance. After carefully studying the trial balance, we have found that purchases, sales return, freight and carriage and wages along with purchase returns and sales fall under the category of direct and factory expenses and direct income. Further, it is to be noted that stock on the 1st of April 2016 is the opening stock and it is the first item to be posted in the trading account. Also, closing stock will appear on the credit side of this account. With this clarification, we now post them in the trading account. Now the trading account. In the books of X and Sons, trading account for the year ended 31st March 2017. The left hand side is our debit side while the right hand side is our credit side. Opening stock and all expenses are posted on the debit side while closing stock and all income are recorded on the credit side. We start with to opening stock 20,000 rupees, to purchases 75,000, and from here we need to subtract the purchase returns to find out the actual purchase figure for the particular year, that is year 2016-17. We have the net purchases as 72,000, to freight and carriage 7,500, and to wages 36,500. On the credit side we have buy sales 2,50,000, but there has been a sales returns which is required to be subtracted from the sales figure, and the sales returns value is 8,000 rupees, and the net sales what we get is 2,42,000. Finally, closing stock is 25,000, and on calculation we get a gross profit which is carried down as 2 gross profit CD 1,31,000. Now after having completed our trading account, we again go back to our trial balance to identify the indirect expenses and indirect incomes which shall form a part of our profit and loss account. As you can see on the slide, salaries rupees 12,000, repairs rupees 1,200, trade expenses of rupees 4,000, rent and taxes of rupees 24,000 are expenses which are indirect. And on the credit side we have commission rupees 3,300 and interest on bank deposit rupees 2,000, which are our indirect incomes, and they need to be posted to the profit and loss account, which we shall see in the next slide. Now after having identified our indirect expenses and indirect incomes, we post them in the profit and loss account, as it can be seen on the slide. The debit side represents the expenses, whereas the credit side represents the income. Let us see the credit side. The gross profit of trading account is brought down as by gross profit BD 1,31,000. Then we have two other incomes, which is by commission rupees 3,300 and by interest on bank deposit 2,000. On the debit side we have the expenses to salaries 12,000, to repairs 1,200, to trade expenses 4,000, and to rent and taxes 24,000. We get a balance of 95,100, which is our net profit, and this net profit is transferred to the capital account in our balance sheet, which we will study now. Now from the trial balance we will identify our assets and liabilities. Capital and drawings will appear in the trial balance with their names only, so they can be easily picked up from the trial balance. As we know, assets have debit balances. The assets identified are cash in hand, bills receivable, debtors, plant and machinery, and bank deposit. Drawings we know have debit balance, so it is appearing on the debit side. Whereas on the credit side we have the liabilities, sundry creditors and bills payable, whereas capital of rupees 1,70,000 is also there on the credit side. Remember, closing stock being an asset will also appear in the balance sheet, and as the name says, since it is an asset, it will come on the asset side. Now after having identified the assets and liabilities along with capital and drawings, we simply post them in our balance sheet as it can be seen on the slide. The liability side begin with the capital of 1,70,000. To this the net profit of 95,100 is added to get a resultant figure of 2,65,100. To this drawings are subtracted whose value is 16,600 to get a net value of 2,40,500. Then we have the other current liabilities, sundry creditors of 15,000 and bills payable of 6,200, which finds their place in the liabilities side. Again on the asset side, we have cash in hand 5,700, bills receivable 4,000, debtors 55,000, plant and machinery 1,60,000, bank deposit 20,000, and closing stock 25,000. Both sides have got the same total of 2,69,700, which means that we have got the correct solution. We have understood how to prepare the trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet separately in our presentation. But when we will be solving the final accounts problem, the trading and profit and loss account should come together. First part the trading account and second part the profit and loss account. What we have studied in the presentation, the trading account and profit and loss account is clubbed together and displayed on the screen. Go through it and you will find all the items that have been taught and posted in the respective accounts finding their place here, and none of them have been altered. The resultant is the net profit 95,100. Now the balance sheet, where we have the assets, liabilities, capital and drawings along with net profit finding their places in the respective asset and liability side. In fact, we have studied it just now. So this is just the representation of the balance sheet, where the total on the both sides is 2,69,700, meaning that our solution to the problem is correct. This brings us to the end of the presentation. I hope that you all have understood how to solve a problem in final accounts, being a beginner and only having closing stock as an adjustment. Thank you to all of you.